What's up guys, Arnell here.
And Ivan.
And today we are going to talk about your technique, improving it for your squat, bench, and deadlift. When you are training, you're most likely going to be doing singles. So 1 reps of your squat, bench, or deadlift. Now these aren't 1 rep maxes. You're not maxing out all the time in training, okay? You're doing these singles at kind of a manageable, maybe 70, 80, maybe even 90% intensity so that you can practice what it would be like for when you are gonna compete. Okay? Because when you are doing these 1 reps, they are not being done in any way you want. There's a certain technique that you're gonna be judged on for your lifts, okay? So when you are training, it's important to further hone these kind of disciplines so that when you go into competition, you don't have to think about it anymore, okay? So for the squat, there's gonna be 2 commands, the start and the rack, okay? So when you are squatting, you wanna make sure that you give yourself maybe about 2 seconds before you actually squat and maybe about 2 seconds after you squat, because the judge is not going to let you begin the lift or end the lift until they tell you, all right? So Ivan's gonna get under the bar. Nice, he's gonna take it out, boom, boom. And he's gonna make sure that his knees are gonna be locked out and straight. He's standing tall, and he's gonna give himself 2 seconds, and then he's going to squat down to depth, then he's gonna come back up, and then give himself another 2 seconds, rack it back in, okay? So Ivan's form was perfect there, and as you can see, he kind of paused at the bottom, though you are not to pause at the bottom when you are competing. You can go at any tempo you like, okay? You just need to make sure that you are paused before and after. You just the only thing that you need to keep in mind during the actual lift is that you're squatting down to depth. And depth means that you are just going to have your hip crease at the bottom of the lift be below the knees, okay? So that's ultimate depth right there. But you can go at any speed that you want. You don't need to pause at the bottom, okay? Bring it back in. You just need to make sure, again, pause before and after your lift. Have the patience, because sometimes when you're nervous or you get excited from the lift that you want to rack it right away, but if you fail any of these commands, it's automatic red light. You don't fucking want that. All right, let's move on. Okay, so for the bench, you have to be even more disciplined, even more patient, because there's going to be 3 commands here. Again, there's going to be a start command and there's going to be a rack command, but in the middle, there's going to be a press command. That's weird. What Ivan's going to do is he's going to unrack the barbell when he's ready, and he's gonna make sure that his arms are gonna be locked out. So the same thing with the bench or with the squat. You're gonna make sure everything is locked out before you can even start the lift. Then he's gonna mentally think start. And here, this is where it's different from the squat, is that he needs to pause here and wait for the press command. So you're gonna get the press command once the bar stops moving. So if Ivan is still kind of teetering, or if it's kind of bouncing a little bit on his chest, he's not gonna get a press command. So he's gonna maybe pause maybe a second or 2, making sure the barbell is still, and then he's gonna press it back up, and he's gonna be patient right here, okay? Because the lift, he can't just rack it right away. The lift's not done yet, okay? He's gonna wait 2 seconds, make sure that his arms are locked out again, just like with the squat, then he's gonna rack it, okay? Because he's going to get, again, 3 commands here: start, press, and a rack, okay? Again, when you are pressing, it's not enough just to wait there. It's not a time limit. It's about how controlled you are when you're at the bottom position. So if the bar is there for 5 seconds, 1 minute, and it's still moving, you're not gonna get a press command. So make sure that when you come down, everything is locked in and solid before you even think about pressing. And once you finish, it might be exciting to finish the lift, but again, make sure that you wait for that rack command. So since you're laying down, you wanna be kind of mentally alert, because you're not gonna be able to see anybody giving you any visual signs, okay? So if you have like a partner or a training friend or something, and they can give you commands, that'd be even better to practice this, okay? Cool. For the deadlift, this one's gonna be the easiest one. There's only gonna be 1 command here, and that's the down command. So Ivan, whenever he's ready, he doesn't need to have any certain starting position. He's going to lift whenever he's ready. He's gonna bring it up, and as you can see, he's locked out at his knees and his hips, and his shoulders are back, okay? So when he finishes his lift, he's going to get 1 command, which is the down command. So down, and he lowers it back down with his hands still on the barbell all the way throughout the movement. And so with the deadlift, there's only a few things that you want to keep in mind. Is 1, you don't want to lift it with obviously you don't want to lift with bad technique, but here's a few things that you might get called on. So he doesn't want to ramp the bar up, okay? So Ramping means that the bar is really fucking heavy because he's weak as shit and he's trying to use his legs to ramp it up, okay? Another way that you can get called for is for hitching, and that's basically when you're using your legs to fucking bounce it up because you're too weak to just stand up with it, okay? So those are two things you want to keep in mind. So when you're training and you feel like you got a new PR, but you fucking did some of that bullshit, it's fucking wrong, okay? You didn't get it. Another thing is, I'm not sure that you will get called on this all the time, but you don't want to slam the barbell to the ground, okay? So meaning that you don't want to add more force when you're, that's not really slam, that's kind of weak. Give it a better slam. There you go. Bring it up and yeah, there you go. So you don't want to slam it down like that. And also he let go of the barbell. So if your hands are not on the barbell throughout the entire movement, you're also going to get called for that. So again, you're going to just lift up the barbell, boom. And then he's gonna lower it back down once he gets the down command. Easy. When you guys are training and you are practicing your singles, keep these commands in mind, because when you are practicing your singles, that's gonna translate directly over to how you're going to compete at the powerlifting meet. And it might even be even harder because of all the pressure from the crowds and all that kind of bullshit, okay? So you wanted this to be muscle memory. So practice good form, good technique, and when you get to your meet, it's gonna be a piece of cake, or maybe not, we'll see. We'll see you next time.